Good evening, folks. It is 5 o'clock. That means you should be leaving work right now. Unless your boss is looking at you, and then hang on for a few minutes. That way you look better. You look, oh, yeah, burning the midnight oil. You know, nose to the stone, hard at it. Speaking of hard at it, I want to tip the cap to Carrie Cosme, who sat in this seat. Well, I probably sat over there, actually. Nobody wants to. She did.
Oh, she sat in
actually
your
took
seat.
the throne.
Yes.
God, unbelievable. Chick has got a, Yeah, she's amazing. Carrie did a wonderful job subbing for me while I was fighting off E. coli infection.
That's just amazing. You look great, though.
Really?
I mean, really.
For a guy 10 days ago was almost dead.
That's right.
Doing pretty good. So, all right, who's ringing?
Oh, that would be me.
Oh, okay. The boss, occasionally does one of those things. So, but thank you, Carrie, so much for filling in, doing a wonderful job. And the people who came in and sat with her, we were sure to appreciate that. This is a new program on Radio A1A. And on Cruisin Country, too, yes?
That's right.
Okay, cool.
Simulcasting.
And it is, we call it The View from Paradise, trying to obviously ride on the back of the people who produce The View, who have, I think, 12 million Facebook hits. So I'm kind of thinking, well, by accident, somebody will like my page, maybe. You never know.
We have 400 people who like the View page. Isn't that wonderful?
No kidding.
400.
That's got to be a mistake.
Nope.
It's got to be. That's pretty cool. I like that. And I don't look anything like any of the women on The View either. So
No, you don't.
No, there's no confusion there. I want to thank, as always, the people who make the program possible here. Sunshine Title, but Mamacher 103, Ginny Pinnell, and her crew up there. You are in a real estate transaction. You're doing for sale by owner. You got a realtor working for you. Yada. These are the people you want to talk to. They're not working for billable hours. They are working for you to get your transaction closed and your property with a clean, clear title and title insurance. That's it. That's what you want. That's what you pay for. It's a great operation. And when I was hawking dirt, as they say, I used to use them all the time. I know Michael still does.
Yes, he does.
Good stuff. Also, Jim LaPointe is become a local mortgage guy down here in the Keys, and a terrific guy.
Famous now.
Infamous
for his low rates. My gosh.
His low rates are incredible. Plus his, what are they? Chimichanga, something, he makes wraps for open houses and stuff. Trust me, folks, if you're a realtor and you want to get crowds to show up, A, serve food, B, get Jim LaPointe in there to put together some of his little wraps for you.
Yes.
Off the charts.
And
delicious.
he qualifies people right there on the spot.
I think I'm killing Rhonda here with the food talk. Rhonda Haag is our guest, and we're going to talk to her in just a few minutes. So, but Jim does a great job, lowest rates. Also does financing on mobile homes, single wides, unheard of. So definitely get in the game with Jim. You can find his ad on the Radio A1A page, and click on it and get the phone number, give him a buzz, and he'll make it happen for you. Also, KeySmart phone repair. Victor is a real trooper.
Yes.
Good guy. I have gone through so much. iPhones with me are just like an item that is welcoming abuse.
Yeah. Whenever
I can sit on one, break the face, whenever I can throw it across the room when I don't like the call and how it's gone. I have a sort of an OtterBox, but not really anymore because that broke. So I have the rubber bumper around my phone. So I drop them a lot. And I keep them a long time, too. So Victor keeps them running for me.
Hey, Mayor Gonzo Mays put her iPhone X on top of her car on the way from Key West to meet the Navy SEALs, and it fell off, and she watched a poop truck run over it. I said, go straight to Victor, and Victor fixed that phone.
Did he really?
It was run over by a truck.
Yeah, well, and that kind of truck, too. Yeah. I think I'd have left it, tell you the truth. But, But, yeah, it doesn't matter if you've got an iPhone, Android, yada, yada, whatever you got, one of those hand crank jobs from way back when, flip phone, Victor can make it work again,
Yeah.
and he's very reasonable. And he's right there at...
he's at Tavernier at the
92?
90-mile mark.
90-mile marker, right. Just a little bit south of Boat Mark.
Yeah, there's
in the Marathon Station.
Marathon
right?
Station.
That's where
right
he's
there.
at. So check it out. He does a great job.
He does.
Yeah. Also, Monroe County Bail Bonds
Yeah.
come down on vacation, leave on probation, is the mighty cry. And if you have rubbed up against the law in the wrong way and need to get home without mom and dad knowing about it, that's the call you got to make. So go to our website again, radioa1a.com. And get all the information, or our Facebook page, right?
That's right.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Also, author Chip Bell's got a new book out. He puts one out about every 3 months.
Yes, he does.
But they're all titled after Jimmy Buffett tunes.
That's right.
And they're nice, lightweight beach reads, and he's got them all coming out on audiobooks.
Yes.
So, you can order them through Radio A1A through the
front of the site right there.
Right,
you click there and you go straight to chipbellauthor.com.
Yeah, go to the guy under the palm tree with
That's
a gun.
Right.
Yeah, so click on that, and that'll take you where you need to go. H&R Block, also Marshall Walker et al. Over there above the Publix in Key Largo. Man, been getting me through it for years, and now that I am betrothed, he'll be getting both of us through it. So,
The new standard deduction for a married couple is $24,800.
It's amazing.
And that's pretty good.
That's a lot of dough.
That's before you pay taxes.
Yeah, you lose everything else, but it's not really a silver lining, kind of a tin lining, if you ask me. But sort of the way it goes.
Oh, and yes, you do have to pay taxes in paradise.
Yeah, you do. That's sad but true. Sammy's got a new book coming up, but we'll hush on that. But
it is going to be
it's going to be a smoker.
World shaker.
Yeah, it's going to be a smoker. That's a fact. So good stuff. We are at Bayside Gourmet, mile marker 82.7 in the heart of Islamorada. And I'm telling you, folks, I stumbled into this place I shouldn't say stumbled. That might infer that I would be drinking, I found this place by accident through some friends about probably a year, 8-9 months ago now. And we met here, had an incredible dinner. The Italian food, the pizza, ranging from, hearty full of meat and animal products to vegetarian, got it all. Salads are wonderful. Desserts, nice selection of brewers too.
A dish here for $16. You can walk right about 30 steps, and they're selling the same thing for $36.
There you go. Yeah, and I bet
Gourmet.
It's better here.
Ooh.
Yeah, no offense, but yeah, it's pretty darn good. I really have enjoyed every single meal I've had here. Never duplicated a one. I'm a very big fan of the salad here, the gourmet salad, so you might want to try that when you get in here. But 82.7 on the Bayside, of course, probably the best Italian food or pizza you've ever had.
Absolutely.
So bring it on in, and we'll probably get a list of the specials here before not too long. So with all that in the jar and packed up and ready to go, we are at 8 minutes after the hour. I want to introduce Rhonda Haag from Monroe County. Now, you were the sustainability or director of sustainability. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're thinking about changing that.
Yes.
Okay. To what?
To Chief Resilience Officer.
Okay. What's the...
So the duties are the same, but it better reflects the resilience activities that we're doing on behalf of the county. So when I first started as sustainability director, we did a lot of the mitigation things like energy savings and how to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions.
Right.
We're now morphing over into the resilience type of projects like road raising and things like that.
Well, okay, so it's same, so sort of the same vein, but stretching out into these are pretty serious construction projects, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have been doing monstrous data collection too on this, haven't you?
Right. So
how have you gone about that? If you don't mind giving us a little background on that.
So we have 300 miles of roads in the county that the county maintains.
Right.
And so we know we also have hundreds of miles of shorelines. We know we're at very near sea level rise here.
Sure.
We know our roads are very low.
Yeah.
So before you get into what to do with them, to elevate them, to prepare for sea level rise, you have to know how high the roads are exactly. So we had to undertake a mobile LiDAR project where literally a vehicle drives around up and down all 300 miles of the roads with a survey instrument.
Kind of like Google.
Yep, kind of like Google,
Yeah.
only for mobile LiDAR.
Yeah.
And they surveyed all of the roads, so we know exactly how high they are.
What is LiDAR?
LiDAR is,
Is it like a radar that measures the ground?
it measures the height
I see.
very accurately.
Yeah.
And I know there's a, I don't
It's
know.
an acronym for
It's
something.
an acronym
but I
for
can't
something.
remember.
I don't either.
Right.
So when there's two types of LiDAR. You can have it aerial flown, which
Right.
is what we had on file, but that can be off by up to 6 inches because it's done so far.
And with
high.
rising sea level 6 inches can
Is a
be
lot.
a lot.
Can be a lot,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes,
So we
yes.
wanted to make sure we had it accurate. So we hired a firm to do the drive around in the vehicle, and that accuracy is within 1/2 inch
Wonderful.
or less.
Wow.
So
Okay.
then we took that. That cost us $500,000 to get that survey data.
I know what business I want to be in.
Actually, that was a pretty good deal. And we're working with the cities. We just did the unincorporated Monroe. We're working with the cities to have them join us in that project so they can have the same level of accuracy. You got to have the accuracy. You can't move forward.
Cool.
And then we're going to combine that with the sea level rise projections from the 4-county compact for the next 20, 50 years. And then we're now underway with a plan to combine those projections with the elevation data and see which of those 300 miles of county roads might need to be elevated in the next 25 years, how high they need to be elevated, and when they would need to be elevated.
Are we talking about, I mean, obviously something like this massive undertaking?
Could be billions.
Yeah, could be. I would think billions would be
Yes.
just for starters. I mean, because you're talking about elevating a road is not just building a bridge.
Oh, no.
No. I mean, it's not just putting up supports and then spanning concrete across it.
We could wish.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was that easy, but it's not.
So especially here in the Keys, we're surrounded by a marine sanctuary. And anyway, the regulations state that when you raise a road, make it higher.
Right.
You have to now include drainage. So you have to capture all the rainwater that falls onto the road. You're not allowed to let it go into neighbors' yards and degrade their property. You have to capture it.
Right.
Which you have to put a series of culverts in to transport it.
Yeah.
You have to put pumps in to do the transporting, and you have to treat it, and then before you dispose of it. So now you're looking at potential. You drive around the Keys now; it's very plain. You have blacktop or gravel, and that's it because it was built before the regulations.
Some of the roads are, raised a little bit, like the Overseas Highway is.
Right. Yeah. That Overseas Highway is actually quite high.
Yeah.
That's the highest, typically the highest in the
Typically
throughout the Keys,
the X
except
zone
for
throughout
some
the
of the
Keys, isn't it? For the most part.
Yep. For the most part, the fills in Islamorada is an
But
exception.
not all anymore. No, that's a fact.
So now when you're looking at raising the roads, you have to make them higher, wider, might encourage a little bit of right away, maybe not. Then you have to build little pump stations. Maybe we'll make them look like tiki huts. Who knows? To transport it and then dispose of it. We have to figure out how we're going to dispose of it.
And dispose of it is the interesting point there, because you will have large pipes running underneath these roads.
Yep.
Servicing fresh water and wastewater going out. And some days I wonder if the mainland isn't going to get tired of getting our waste product.
Well, but they'd love to come visit us here.
Yeah, and that's true. It's a fair trade, in my opinion. They
I
come
think
down
so.
there and add to it.
That's right.
Okay, so it's not just building a bridge. Even though it would be nice if it were, you've got to run the infrastructure underneath it. And we're talking about the roads, I'm guessing, that are the most susceptible are those closest to the water, i.e., some fairly spendy residential neighborhoods.
Very typical, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Not all coastal roads.
No.
But some interior ones, but typically, yes.
Yeah. Is that representing any kind of special? I'm trying to be delicate here, but are the rich folks okay with this, or are they pissed off? No offense, but
we have some neighborhoods that experience some very bad king tide flooding here this past fall.
Horrible.
Some very affluent neighborhoods,
I used to live
along
up
with less affluent neighborhoods throughout the Keys. It was very bad everywhere this past
Winston
fall.
Waterways was one of those trouble spots.
So that was caused, number one, by the fall tides, but also because of Hurricane Dorian. It slowed down the Gulf Stream, and so that water all backed up on the Florida Bay. But that was a really good indication of what to expect on a regular basis.
What can happen.
In the next 20, 30 years with rising sea levels. we want to be prepared, and that's what Monroe County is doing. That's why we spent all this time and effort collecting data. And money. Getting our plans ready. So we're actually kind of leading the state, if not the country, in our planning efforts.
Because you've got to be, with Monroe, I mean, obviously, we face, something like this in a very different situation than even somebody in Fort Lauderdale does. I mean, their infrastructure is built up already to a degree. So my lovely wife just entered the patio. So
you are so fortunate.
Mariette, why don't you grab a squat over here?
Got a little bit different situation in like Broward County because they plan on raising the seawalls.
Sure.
We can't do that.
We don't have seawalls.
And number one, we have way too many miles.
Well, and let's not get into the whole wall thing in the first place. That's part of the deal. You didn't drop, $2.5 million to look at a wall.
Right.
Exactly. Really, I'm sure there's a lot of folks that would be ticked off about that. And even if you were successful in putting the wall up, a mural of the bay or the ocean is just not the same.
Nope.
So there's got to be kind of a fine line there where there's some people that, are you guys, is there any way to prepare for that? What you think might be the backlash from the residential community going, I don't want that there?
Well, I always say truth is truth. So you have to get the data first.
Yep.
You do right now we have that study underway that's going to show what the recommendations are.
Right.
Using real survey data and the projections from the Climate Compact, which has been approved by dozens and dozens of different scientists from all types of different agencies, so it's not just local. And then when they have a plan, he's going to say, okay, here's what's going to be recommended. If we're going to get a foot of sea level rise in the next 25 years, here's what you're going to need to protect your roads from getting wet.
Okay.
And then we're going to have that, and we're going to show that, what it's going to cost, and then we discuss that in front of have a lot of community outreach meetings, of course, and take it to the neighborhoods.
Okay.
So we're doing that now. We have a couple of pilot projects underway, one in Key Largo and one in Big Pine Key.
Stillwright Point, yeah.
Stillwright is not the pilot project. It's a different one, Twin Lakes.
Oh, got it. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stillwright is asking to be a demonstration project, or they want their roads elevated.
Oh, cool. Good. All right.
But there's a price tag.
Sure.
So we said, we're going to take this 3 months and do the study and tell them exactly what the price tag is going to be to elevate their roads. But they're also thinking options, too. They're thinking, well, okay, maybe instead of spending millions and millions of dollars on the high-priced option, they also want us to look at lower-priced options that can be implemented quicker.
Which would be...
So let's just say, instead of elevating it a foot right off the bat, they're looking at, well, what can you do really quick? Because it takes a long time and a lot of money to elevate a 2-mile section of road a foot.
Yes, it does.
They're looking at, well, what if you... And you have to put all the infrastructure in for stormwater.
Really?
They say, well, why can't you just elevate it maybe 2 or 3 inches, and then you don't need to do all of that stormwater stuff. So we'll look at all options. I don't know if that's a good option because it won't get them very far because, they were under a foot and a half of water for weeks at a time.
And they have been for years, man. I've been down here almost 20 years, and, I've always thought Stillwright Point was a beautiful area to live. It is
gorgeous.
But, boy, you got to be willing to, wash off your car when you get home to get the salt off from underneath. Because you're driving through it all the time. So we are at, Rhonda, we are at 19 minutes after the hour, so I want to take a break.
Okay.
You can stay with us for about another 7-8 minutes, please. Cool.
Sure.
Harold?
Yes.
Teaford? Please pay the bills for us. Folks, you're listening to The View live from the Bayside Gourmet at 82.7. We will be right back. Stay with us, please.
Keys, folks, it's that time of year again. You are running every which way you can, and it seems like you just cannot keep up. That's right, it's season. Not that season. Tax season. Hi, this is Mark Mills. For the last 10 years, Marshall Walker and his team at H&R Block in Key Largo, the one over by the Publix, well, they have done my taxes through thick and thin. H&R Block has been there for me, and they have won my taxes. Let H&R Block in Key Largo, next to the Publix, get your taxes won. The end of tax season is nigh. Call now, 305-451-2562.
You know, they may be called smartphones, but they are handled by regular folks like you and me. And we break things. Well, no more freaking out about breaking your smartphone because Keys Smartphone Repair is here. Just click or call keysmartphonerepair.com. That's keysmartphonerepair.com. keysmartphonerepair.com. It's fast, professional smartphone and tablet repair located in Tavernier, mile marker 90. keysmartphonerepair.com. Click it now and save.
For a great holiday read, pick up the latest Jake Sullivan thriller, Gypsies in the Palace. Jake has recovered from his gunshot-inflicted coma and heads to Key West. A late-night assault at his office catapults him back into the game, hunting for a deadly toxin threatening the Keys. Not knowing who is friend or foe, he and Mike Lang are led to the Bahamas to find the truth. There he discovers a trusted friend is actually a malevolent enemy. Pick up Chip Bell's latest gripper, Gypsies in the Palace, at chipbellauthor.com.
This is your Key West Honorary Mayor Gonzo Mays, and you're listening to Radio A1A, music for the road to paradise. So damn the carnations, full speed ahead.
Welcome back to The View from Paradise. I'm Mark Mills. Thank you so much for tuning in to A1A Media here, to RadioA1A.com, and to CruisinCountry.com. Coming along for the ride. We are up at the Bayside Gourmet at 82.7. To me, home of the best Italian food in the Keys.
Too.
Very nice. We got a little crowd going on here too. So I actually
join us.
8 top just
opened up,
finished up. So we got lots of space. Lots of space. So, but unbelievable food here. So come on over and check us out. Very nice beer and wine selection, too.
The beer is wonderful.
We were just talking that Marianne and I were talking earlier about they have, it's called Salty Dog Sand something. It's an ale, and you can't get it anywhere else. Can't buy it anywhere, and they've got it here.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
try one tonight.
Marianne, what's
Sea Dog Sunfish?
Sea Dog Sunfish Ale. There it is. So, you know, I would be totally lost with it. I would be wandering the streets with a bag over my head without this woman. You know, unbelievable. So, we are talking with Rhonda Haag, one of my favorite people from Monroe County.
Absolutely.
And you're changing your title. I think that's pretty cool. So, Resilience
Officer.
Chief
Resilience Officer.
Wow.
You are. But I mean, and one of the things I want to talk, we were talking about Still Right Point and how they want to be part of the pilot program to survey raising the roads to supersede flood, you know, because especially in the last year or two, the king tides that we've been going through here have really kind of opened the kimono, if you would. I hate to use that term, but it seems appropriate. That, you know, we got a water issue here, you know, and the water sometimes appears as though it's going, you know, we'd like our land back, you know. So this is a hell of a challenge, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I watched with some real I don't know, suspiciously, I guess, that you know, after the remnants of Superstorm Sandy, and when that blew through on the East Coast, they seem to be more focusing on just raising the houses and not the roads.
That's the Mississippi Gulf Coast as well, and Louisiana Gulf Coast. There are some 20, 30 feet high houses down there now.
Come on.
They really are. It's crazy. It's nuts. I mean, they are way up in the air.
You know, well, if your car floats away, you know, I mean, it's so here. You guys really aren't considering that here, are you? I mean, raising the houses. And
no, there are some available
on
state funds for people that want to voluntarily raise their houses. We got some from the Hurricane Irma after effects. I think $15 million for buyouts and road elevations, and there might be some potential federal funding from the Corps of Engineers. They're also underway with a 3-year study here in the Keys to help us make us more resilient. And there might be some federal funds to help people elevate their homes.
Could people use that for raising their driveways? That funding?
I don't know.
Okay.
It would seem to make sense that they could, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
it makes it more resilient.
Yeah.
As long, if the county is going to raise the.
You've been working in government long enough to know that, it would seem to make sense. Could be the kiss of death, so not trying to be cruel, but, it's confusing as hell sometimes.
Right.
But, yeah, you know what? That's homework for you. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Rhonda, but, find out if we can do that and then get back to me if you would.
I will.
I think because the homeowner is going to be responsible for their driveway.
Right, they are.
They raise the road and you get home one day and drop 2 feet going into your driveway. That's going to be a bad combination.
Right.
So your efforts right now are strictly on the roads, though, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It'd be just like the wastewater, when we did the sewer hookups.
Right.
They had to do the connection from the house to the main line. It'd be the same with the roads. The county would raise the roads, and then they're responsible for doing the connection to their house.
Okay.
Same opportunity.
Okay. Cool. Well, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's your driveway. I have the people who put pavers in their driveways. And I had pavers in my driveway because the guy who owned the house before me put them in, not because I put them in. But, and I always thought, well, it's concrete. What's the matter with that? Pavers are prettier.
Yeah, they are prettier.
Yeah.
You mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
When they placed our exceptional sewage system in about 5 years ago, each one of the property owners was assessed a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. Is that going to happen to the property owners in the Florida Keys?
For sea level rise projects?
Yes.
So I can't answer that right now, but we do have to look at all options for raising money to raise the roads, because it's, like I said, it could be billion. So the wastewater project was $1 billion project.
Yes,
the roads project could easily be $1 billion. Our average yearly budget for our roads maintenance is like $20 million.
$1 billion, 20 years it took to do the wastewater.
Wow.
$1 billion, 20 years to raise the roads?
All depends on how much money we get.
In 60, the maps are showing us underwater.
Yeah.
2060, the projections are from, 9 to 30
You're
inches.
smiling when you say that. That's
We
unusual.
can prepare. So this is only 2020. I feel fairly confident here that we're good here for the next 2 decades at least. We can prepare and we can raise the roads for that. And beyond that, but 2060 is a little more scary because, if the projections continue to come in as higher on the higher side. And that's,
it would be good if we quit melting the caps.
It
First
would
of all, I think,
But even if they do come in,
yeah, right.
there are ways we can be here. So maybe we can't raise all of the roads, but
Right.
we can raise a majority of them. And for those areas that we can't, maybe there's other things we can do
Right.
to access those areas,
Right.
however that may be. There's a lot of ingenuity out there, and people like different ways of living. If there's going to be certain areas that are going to have water under their houses, that could be maybe a different type of neighborhood.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're starting our visioning now, so we can plan for that.
Cool.
But I think for the next 2 decades, we're going to be pretty good here in the Keys here.
You have to be pretty optimistic to do this job, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, good idea.
That's the focus. Want to keep the Keys the fabulous Florida Keys.
Rhonda Haag, it is always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Good luck with the title change.
Thank you.
I know that's kind of shaky ground sometimes, but, I think it's cool. And, what a wonderful transition, because people look at sustainability and they're thinking, well, I can get cups and saucers and stuff and plates like that for the restaurant, that, are biodegradable. Very important, but, took a long time to bring those changes about. Raising the roads, raising homes, and beating back the floodwaters, that's a challenge, and we are glad that you're up to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Fist bump.
Doors open anytime you want, okay?
Okay.
Come on back and see us.
Thank you so much.
You bet, absolutely. Rhonda Haag from Monroe County, the soon-to-be Chief Resiliency Officer. Did I say that right? All right, good deal. I didn't lose all my brain pan up there at South Miami Hospital. Good deal. Always happy to have that happen. So coming up, folks, we are approaching the bottom of the hour here, and John Dick from Monroe County School Board will be joining us when we come back from the break. I want to run through our sponsors once again real quick. Sunshine Title, thank you. Yay!
Boy, she's wonderful.
Absolutely. Jim LaPointe, our mortgage guy, Keys Smartphone Repair, and Monroe County Bail Bonds. Come on down on vacation, leave on probation. And, of course, author Chip Bell, the Jake Sullivan crime novel series, all available through our website, radioa18.com. And H&R Block, sorry, folks, but it's the new year, and tax season is upon us. So get with the program. Harry, we're going to take another break.
Yes, we are.
Folks, we'll be back in a couple of minutes, so stay with us. This is The View from Paradise.
You've been coming to the Keys for a while, and you rent a nice place, but the rents keep going up. You know it's time to consider buying a home in the Keys. First thing, find out how much home you can afford. Time to talk to Jim. Jim LaPointe is your new Keys local lender. Easy qualifying, lowest rates, FHA, VA, conventional. Time to talk to Jim. Log on to radioa18.com. Click on interest rates. Rates change often, so check them daily. Time to talk to Jim.
Monroe County Bail Bonds is a local family-owned and operated bail bonding agency in the Florida Keys. Fully licensed and serving residents and visitors for over 20 years.
3-day getaway down in the Florida Keys. This time Duval Street got the best of me. I argued with the cop. He said I was speeding, and I really ran out of luck. When my girlfriend leaned over and whispered real loud, he's stubborn when he's drunk. I came here on vacation. I'm going home on probation.
That's right. There's always an agent on call 24/7 at Monroe County Bail Bonds. Call us when you need us with 2 locations. Tavernier at 305-852-3268 or Key West at 305-296-7724 or go to FloridaKeysBail.com.
Going home on probation.
Hello, Radio A1A listeners. This is Michael Marinelli of American Caribbean Real Estate. Let me ask you, are you tired of the same old real estate agents doing the same old stuff the same old way? I provide a level of service that most agents can't, don't, or won't. Contact me to find your piece of paradise here in the Florida Keys or to assist you in finding a great agent nationwide. As part of the Christie's International Real Estate Network, I've got a team of agents that can take care of you no matter where you are. So no matter what your real estate needs are, with 22 years of service, contact me, Michael Marinelli, the real estate conch of American Caribbean Real Estate, at 305-439-7730, or visit me at my award-winning Florida Keys Real Estate and Lifestyle blog at therealestateconch.com. I look forward to working with you soon.
Surprise! Great for a birthday, anniversary party. But a real estate transaction, that is not what you want. You don't want surprises when it comes to closing a real estate deal. The way to a smooth closing with no surprises is Sunshine Title of the Florida Keys. Call Ginny or Pam or even Irene. Hey, these 3 gals will take care of you. Close your transaction smoothly with no surprises. Real estate closings, 1031 exchange, escrow, all your needs are taken care of there with no surprises. It's Sunshine Title of the Florida Keys. Call 305-451-0032 or just Google up Sunshine Title of the Florida Keys.
Welcome back to The View from Paradise. I'm Mark Mills on Radio A1A and CruisinCountry.com. We sure do. I mean, I think the first time I talked to this gentleman was at an open forum when you were campaigning for the job. And I remember asking a question that snapped a couple of people's necks. So we won't repeat it. But it was, and you answered in the affirmative.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to be yes.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's good to be no.
This is true. So, John Dick from Monroe County School Board, thank you for coming by, sir.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Harry. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely.
It's always enjoyable.
Well, they go back to school tomorrow, don't they?
Yeah, the students have been off since before Christmas, and tomorrow they go back. The staffs were back in today, and teachers were doing their gradings.
Yeah.
So some of the students will get a late Christmas present, and some of them get some coal.
Not so much.
Some of them get some coal.
Not so much. Some parents walking around whistling. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Oh, well, they get rid of them again.
Absolutely. Send them back to you guys. So, there are some new policies with not necessarily taking effect, but they will within the new year, correct?
Yes. What had happened, I know you were referring to the medical marijuana policy.
Right.
What happened, we had a regular school board meeting, I think in the second week or third week of December.
Right.
And it was brought to us that the districts in the state of Florida have to have a policy in place for medical marijuana.
Surely.
Sure.
So,
listen to him.
Wait a minute.
I'm going back to high school.
The staff will do later.
Nice. Okay.
Can I get out of that one?
Yeah. This train just took a dirt road.
He has a master's degree in politics. I swear.
And he earned it the hard way too.
He did.
Yeah. So
what
nicely
happened
done, John. Thank you.
is we have an organization that helps us with the policies because they're hooked up with the legislature and they see what's going on.
Right.
And it was told to us at the board that the organization that does that for us had recommended that we don't do it. And then, of course, there's also the policy. Whatever we do is at odds with the federal government because they have not come around to any of this yet. No. So it's kind of like, we're elected officials, and to be put into a position, do you want to make a policy that's against the federal? And so we had a vote, and I voted no. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I, one of the fellows on the board is a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he kind of felt that, this was not a thing to do. And so between being told that the people that help us write our policies telling us not to do it, and a lawyer sitting next to me saying, this is not a good thing. Yeah, I voted no.
Sure.
But then it seems that they found out
so many times, right?
Right after Christmas, I guess they found out that we, meaning Monroe County, would be the only district in the state of Florida
bad
that
idea.
didn't do it.
Yeah, really bad idea.
And that what was being told to us, and I don't know who made the mistake, but it was that the recommendation from the people that do our help us with our policies had recommended we do it.
Oh, yeah.
Not that we don't.
Sure.
So I'm thinking, all right, well now, okay, I know the lawyer is telling me it's against federal, but you know what? If we're the only county, 67 counties in Florida.
That's unusual.
And if we're the only one that's not going to do it, that's not good for us.
No, it's a really bad idea.
If you're Miami-Dade and you say, I don't want to do something, you got some power behind you.
Yeah.
Monroe County says, I don't want to do something, you're going to get smacked around.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had another emergency meeting before the first of the year. I forget what date it was, but it was only a 10-minute meeting. We advertised it as we have to do. And the only thing on the agenda was the medical marijuana policy, and we approved it. And,
but yeah, I mean, they're just, taking the 13-year-old snicker when you say the word off the table here. Pot has, worked its way into our society modern day. And the bottom line is it's effective in a number of medical treatments nowadays. Wonderful treatment for cancer.
Correct.
It builds appetites, keeps people,
so
keeps
there's value.
There's
value.
There's incredible value.
And so we do need now what this policy is. I mean, it's not. There's nobody going to be smoking weed in the schools or any of that stuff.
Not being endorsed to do it.
And there has been. And the schools are not going to be doing any of this either.
Right.
If a student has a legal from a doctor to say he has, that student has to have a caretaker who is 21 years old and above, might be the parent, but otherwise some other caretaker who is registered, and they can come to the school if they have to do it. We won't do it. The only thing the school has to do is the school has to authorize an area, a special. This is where that'll be done.
Okay.
This is where it'll be administrated. And,
Inside,
it'll be a
outside,
room somewhere or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have to designate an area. Each school has to designate an area to say this is where.
Well, if you do it inside, you could do art class afterwards or something. Sorry,
if it was a diabetes shot, for instance, an insulin shot,
right?
Yeah.
Do y'all the nurse at the school, does she administer that if the child has to have it?
There are certain
Are
things,
you already administering?
We
some
are.
drugs?
Yeah, we do administer certain things and certain drugs, but I think getting involved in the medical marijuana at this point is
it's a new it really is a new
and
level.
Again, it's the federal government is still not on board.
Right.
So
See, the federal government was always on board with insulin because I was a childhood diabetic. When I had to take insulin when I was in school, I had to go down to the nurse's office, and she would watch me draw it up and swab down, blink, and give myself a shot.
Yeah.
Same idea, though, basically, because, medical marijuana is exactly that. It's medical marijuana.
Right.
So, if this kid, whatever is going through, he or she is, pain, cancer, whatever it is, recovery from an accident, something like that, it's going to have to be policyed to the same level.
At this point, I don't know of any of our students, but it's going to happen.
Sure
at some point there will be, and so we have to be ready for it and have to do it.
Well, good on you for being ready for it, too.
Well, we're the last one in the state of Florida.
John, you didn't have to tell him that.
Yeah, but it's appreciated that y'all gave it a bit of extra thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just didn't jump on the band.
No. That's,
I appreciate that.
We do look at things and try to do what we feel is the right thing. And you know what? We're not always... that vote was 3-2. We're not always a 5-0 vote. You know what? I don't... some boards like to kind of hash things out ahead of time and then make sure they always have a 5-0 vote. You know what? I'm not
So y'all don't have a secret
life.
virtual meeting sometime, a telephone call?
No, we're not allowed.
We have a thing called Sunshine Law that prohibits
but you know what happens?
that.
I'll tell you what does happen, so you'll know. We'll have like a subject that comes up, unless it's a last minute happens. But we'll have a discussion in a workshop, and everybody will be giving opinions and saying things, and so you can kind of, he's on board, she's on board, or he's not. Now, we board members can't try to convince another board member on something, but the superintendent can do.
He can make
whatever. He can go. So he knows that Harry doesn't really want this, but he wants it. So he's going to go to Harry before the next meeting, and he's going, Harry, come on, look, this is what we got to do. Blah, blah, blah,
Right.
And
so the soup's got a little freer
he's allowed
hand
to
with
do
it.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's his job.
Right.
Board members can't do it to each other, but again,
because that would violate the Sunshine Law, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if every board meeting and everything is 5-0, I don't know. It's just
I
have no problem when we have 3-2 votes or whatever. And there was a time, when I was on the losing side of a lot of 3-2 votes, a lot of them. But in the end, we won the big ones.
Yeah. But I mean, it's I hoping for a 5-0 vote every time is nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not important. I mean, there's certain things you want to have 5-0. Look, if you're hiring a superintendent, you really want that to be
everybody
5-0.
should be
you
in
want
favor
everybody
of that.
to say,
Yeah,
okay, this is the person that we want.
Right.
And some of the things that I can understand why, but I have no problem with being what I don't like to do is every year we rotate who's the who's the chairman of the board,
right.
So the seating can change, and so you don't know whether you'll be the first vote, second, or the last vote.
Right.
What I don't like is when somebody, if it's 4-0 coming up to you and you want to play both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
And, I'm voting no now, but, sometimes those I don't like the political votes.
That's human
kind of
nature
stuff,
is going to rub you the wrong way.
And
so.
I mean, if I'm dead set against something that I am not going to go for,
you got to vote.
Everybody's going to know.
Yeah.
They're going to know ahead of time
right.
that John is against this.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to be a political vote.
Right.
It'll be...
But you serve on a different type of board than the county commission.
Yes.
Right.
You're dealing with children's lives.
Yes.
Being political with that would give me an edge as well.
Yeah.
And working that situation has to be, challenging.
Well, you know what's the thing with being, if you're on the county commission, there are well-meaning people who are strongly on both sides of many issues.
Sure.
Whereas on the school board, everybody is really looking for the same thing. The only difference is how we get there.
Gotcha.
Right.
But we're all looking for the same thing.
You want to benefit
So
the
whereas
kids.
the county commission, there's some people, I don't want you to do that. Oh, I want you to do that. And and they're all good people on both sides. It's just, that's the way it is,
Right.
So, but in the schools, everybody wants a good, clean education. They want safe places for their children to be educated. They want us to serve them some good food, and they want the bus drivers to get there on time. It's not,
and be sober.
We haven't had that problem. Although you read about some.
Man, was it the Carolinas or whatever? Oh my God. They had like 3 in 3 weeks, boy. It was just like, guys, maybe the bars shouldn't be open for the schools. It's just not.
I guess it's not a good sign if you see the bus parked in front of the bar.
No, it's not. It's really a bad
It's happened,
idea.
though, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is.
Everything's happened.
I don't know about the Keys.
Well, when someone looks to come to the Keys, they may go to the Chamber of Commerce. They may go to look at the businesses around. But where would they call to check on the rating of the school, for instance? The rating of the school in the area, like at Coral Shores?
Yeah, I mean,
Marathon?
actually, the school district has it on the website.
Right.
But, in case you're concerned, you can call the state. Go right on the Florida Department of Education website.
But what would you point out as some of the really cool things about Monroe County schools?
Well, I mean, I would tell them go and ask to visit the school because
take a walk
you
through.
see those schools, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
If there's one thing we've done really good, it's build good schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
But aren't you graduating a pretty high percentage of people that are going to higher education?
Yes, we I'm going to tell you that considering higher education, meaning 4-year and 2-year universities, we're probably at 70 in the 80%. Then you add a few more on top of that going to
puts you quite a ways ahead of the rest of the counties, too, doesn't it? I mean, in the state of Florida, that's up there.
Yeah, we're up there. I mean, we're in the top third, I would think, in that. But the trouble with that, some of that, in some of the counties in those rural out, they're not going to college, and they weren't planning on going to college
in the first place.
From the day, they went in there. So is it bad that they're not going to college? Not really, because they were going to go work in the business, in the family business, on the farms or whatever,
agriculture,
which was the way it was years ago here with the fishing. Everybody was going fishing.
Sure,
but that's kind of now it's a little bit more specialized.
Fishing's another version of agriculture,
and so that was when I first started working. I worked at Marathon High School. Back in 96, 97, 98. And, we're still kids that, well, Mr. Dick, I'm not worried about getting my test scores or anything because I'm going to work on the boat.
Yeah.
And there was, and there still is to a point, but it's not like it was many, many years ago.
Well, and I'll tell you what, if you grow up under those circumstances like you do in the Keys as kids, just working class normal kids, mom and dad aren't rich. They're not living on the water. They're, but, you have that afforded to you to get in a boat when you're about 9, 10, 12 years old, go and paddle out, catch fish, clean a fish, cook your own food, that kind of stuff, be able to pitch a tent whenever you want to. I mean, that's a lifestyle that you don't really get too many other places. No. And the amount of nature that you consume here, Everglades National Park, John Pennekamp, all the way down to Bahia Honda and into Key West, the state parks and the city parks and everything that we have here, kids get an education here that, they're not going to get.
There's a lot of value in that, in that being out there.
Yeah, and I think that sets the spur for, those that are going to go, you know what, this is how I'm going to make my living. I have no intention of, why do I need to go to school?
Yeah. And that was, that was, I'm sure it was prevalent many years, especially down.
I think it's still probably prevalent now.
I mean, what we do send a lot of students off to technical schools and that kind of stuff.
No harm, no foul there, man.
Well,
I'm a technical school
grad.
The
plumbers and the electricians,
Yeah.
See if they come to your house for $10 an hour.
Yeah, not going to happen. They make lawyer money now. So, yeah, matter of fact, one of the best deals I ever made when I was selling real estate was to a gentleman from Maryland who owned a plumbing company. And he started out as a plumber. His father was a big-time lawyer in the state of Maryland. Sister was on the Supreme Court, state of Maryland. Wow. So law was in the blood, and he was having none of it. And he went out and became a plumber. Got out of the Army or the Navy or whatever and said, screw it, became a plumber. He had 5 plumbers working for him, and he used to joke to his father. His father would say, well, I make $300 an hour. He said, well, I make 5. I got 5 plumbers working for me, So, I mean, that's a beautiful thing, man.
There's nothing wrong with
Not at all. Not at all.
I worked as an auto mechanic in Brooklyn for 25 years. So, I mean,
nothing wrong with that. You get it.
It just hurts your back after a while.
Yeah, you get tired of bending over. Lawyers get hurt back from carrying all that money.
John Dick, are you satisfied that you have made it up as far as you like to be? Have you reached your potential at the school board, or what's John Dick do?
I would not run for any other office or go beyond that. I mean, that's
why not,
John? You're a appreciated, well-respected gentleman in the
community. But I don't want to travel up to Tallahassee. I like staying in the Keys.
Boy,
and the only travel I like to do is go on vacation.
An honest man right here. I don't want to go to Tallahassee to deal with those people up there. I can't blame you one iota for that.
Our friend Jim Mooney is running for that.
I know.
Yeah.
We got to get him over here.
I got to sit Jim down and,
Well, then you know what? You got a whole bunch of them running for that position.
I know.
Then you got to bring them all in. Or,
Well, see, but that's the difference between web and broadcast. Because we're on the web, we don't have to live by the FCC.
Okay.
Trust me, I stepped in that a couple of times when I was a Clear Channel.
No equal time.
Oh, no, no such thing. You want equal time? Here you go. I got one for everybody.
It's a good thing we're on radio.
Absolutely. No cameras in this crowd.
You just said that I was number 1.
Yeah.
I was number 1.
You're number 1.
With a bullet. All right, step outside of it for a moment.
Yeah.
If you were going to, in a perfect world,
Ooh,
if you were gonna run for another office, what would it be?
It would be the state senator.
Yeah.
Marco Rubio's position.
Yeah.
What did the state do?
United States Senator.
Yeah, United States Senator.
Yeah.
Oh, John.
Not the state Senate. I would go. That's where I'd
go. And work with the big boys.
Yeah, because
John, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to go to Tallahassee.
If I'd have gotten political, well, first of all, political in New York City, that was the last thing I would do there. Mm-hmm. And I only got hooked into it down here because I decided
you had kids in school.
My wife, I had kids in school. My wife was going to teach, and they got me onto the school advisory council, which is like what we call the PTA up in New York.
Right.
And, the next thing I know, I'm starting to see things that I'm saying, what's going on here? How come this is that? I said, what's wrong with you people here?
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, I'd find out, you guys have no supplies. There's nothing here. And I'm thinking, this is not
right.
How are you educating?
Yeah, and then, now, of course, you didn't have the internet when I first got on.
Right.
That came down here and got involved with the schools, not on the school. And so I'd call up the state of, and I'd find out that, you can get these books that shows the amount of money. And what you can get on the internet now by 2 minutes, you'd have to call up to the state, and they'd send you a book, which is a year behind because they got to print up the book and all. But still didn't matter. I said, I'm looking it up and I'm saying, you guys get more money than any other district in the state of Florida on a per student basis. Miami-Dade, of course, gets millions and millions, but we were getting far more than anybody else on per student.
Yeah.
I said, what are you guys doing with the money? What's going on here? Yeah. And so that's what got me involved. I'd go to school board meetings and I'd point out.
Yeah.
I'd say, and here's what they had. The board had bamboozles everybody, board and superintendents, and this was going on not for any one particular one. Here's what they would say, and this is a true statement. They would make the statement and say, we get less money from Tallahassee than any other district. So when they say that to you, you're thinking, oh, Jesus,
it's horrible.
We can't pay anybody. We can't do it. What happens? Way money is collected. You know, every county pays school taxes.
Right.
All right, and the money goes up to Tallahassee. In theory, it goes up to Tallahassee, and then Tallahassee, they have this formula, and districts that have high property values and high income, they only give back a little to them.
Right.
And districts in poor rural districts that don't have, they give a lot more. So what happens is we were getting 90% of the money that went to us was coming directly from Monroe County taxpayers. Whoa. So their statement to say that Tallahassee gives us less money than anybody else is a true statement.
Sure,
they're not lying.
Per student, however.
But when you add what we give to ourselves, here, huge. And let's face it, we are the taxpayers,
right? And
then the county is the school district, and the schools. And you see, well, altogether between the money you get from the state and the 10% you get from the state and the 90% you get from your local taxpayers is way more than anybody else is getting in any other school district.
Yeah.
So this is their point, and I'm saying you guys have more money than any other district in the state of Florida. Now, all right, I understand it's a long district. You know, there's some
bada bing, bada boom.
Come on,
but
not to the point where when my wife got the job as the art teacher, she was the art teacher. Had left or moved away, and they said, you know, would you finish this year up? My wife was substituting, so they gave her the job. She walks in, and I'll never forget how she told me. The teacher's desk, you know, regular metal desk with a couple of drawers. They pulled open the first top drawer for the assistant principals, and there's a couple of pencils, a couple of magic markers. Here's your art supplies.
No, my God.
I swear to God. This is a fact of life. And when she told, I said, what the heck is going on here? I mean, and you know, how could you say that to someone and use the copy paper for drawing?
Right.
I mean, this is a fact. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, you go into the schools now. Go into our schools.
They're geared up pretty good now, aren't they?
Things are very good. I am very proud
efforts.
Of what's happened in the Monroe County School District. In every school.
You decide to run for Marco Rubio's seat.
Yeah, well, that ain't happening.
You got a campaign manager right here.
And a media company. For free.
Thank you very much.
We'll back your butt up on that one for sure.
Thank you very, very much.
John Dick, it is always a pleasure having
really
you on,
is.
man.
Nice
and
to
we
see
didn't get to much except the pot issue. Yeah. So we got that taken care of. So
I
come back and see us when you get
I never inhaled.
I haven't inhaled in a long time. So, you know.
But over in Vietnam, there was some smell in the air. I don't know what it was.
I remember it was.
I think it was cordite.
Yeah, that's it. John, thank you so much, man. Take care of yourself. You know, folks, that is going to wrap it up for another edition of The View. Boy, that hour just goes by.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Blinding. Yeah, absolutely.
This place is beautiful. To the movies playing. Mark, look up on the screen.
I saw that.
Isn't that great? They have a movie night here, and it's just wonderful.
Folks, you got to come out and try this. Yes. You know, the Bayside Gourmet, mile marker 82.7.
Right.
Got a movie going on in the back here. You can eat pizza, eat whatever you want back here. Thank you, John. You know, and beer and wine selection. Food is incredible. Marianne and I are going to sit down and have dinner here in a few minutes because it's her birthday tomorrow. My wife.
Yay! Happy birthday, Marianne.
And nobody better be guessing how old she is because you're going to miss by a mile. Huh?
No. Okay. I'm not going to fall for that one, Mark Mills.
Here, you lost your mind, young man.
Lost your mind.
Again, thank you to Bayside Gourmet for everything that they do for us here. We have a blast here, so come down some Monday night at 5 o'clock and see us. We'll have a good time, I promise. See you next week.
And put up a fucking lie with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? It'd be a paradise and put up a fucking lie. Country Museum and the Charlie